Manager with HR VP at Medline. So Deepen comes with a rich experience of 15 years, having worked for high worth enterprises and delivering complex projects for high impact HR services. His specialties include HR business partnering, HR process optimization, HR project management, performance management, and workforce planning. So I'd like to welcome both of you once again on this Saturday morning. Thank you for joining us. And I'd also like to extend a warm welcome to our guests. Thank you again for taking out time. So we are joined by Mayank and Rashmi, who are the co-founders at Lead Up Universe. Welcome, Rashmi. Welcome, Mayank.
Hi.
Hi, good morning. So,
hey, hi, everyone. Good morning.
So I'd like to now throw open the group for discussion. So the topic of discussion will be HR focus in 2023. Now, a study conducted by Gartner of more than 800 HR professionals identified the top 5 priorities for HR in 2023. So top of the list would be leader and manager effectiveness. And, many HR leaders will also prioritize change management, employee experience, recruiting, and future of work. So I'd like to now ask Deepen, what do you think would be your priorities in 2023 as a business partner?
So essentially, leadership development is one of the first priorities that I am keeping. The second is, of course, addressing the talent scarcity. And when I say leadership development, it's not that it's a new priority for us. It's just this that given the pandemic and given the current nature of changing things, I think we need to kind of take a fresh look at leadership. Leaders can not just be, one function focused. That is the multi-skilling them or getting them multifunctional or cross-functional, skilled in terms of being able to manage, being able to lead. I think that is one of the priorities. And like I said, the second one is, of course, the talent scarcity. So there is a lot of talent available, but getting the right talent is a significant challenge at the right price point that you can afford. So addressing that bit in the right, getting the right mixture is the critical aspect that we are working on as an organization.
Okay. All right. So yeah, definitely we need to have a fresh look. We've been through the pandemic and definitely, we have come up with some reactive strategies, but we will definitely need to relook at it from, a fresh pair of eyes. Thank you, Deepen, for that insights. So Nandita, what do you think, what would be your focus area in 2023?
Good morning, everyone. Hi, thank you for introducing Priya, and hi, Deepen. For us, I work for the manufacturing organization, and it's been like 15 years I've been working into manufacturing. Before that, I was into IT sector as well. I think for everybody, 2 major focus area, like very rightly Deepen said, is the leadership development, not just the leadership development, but the succession planning. I mean, you should keep on de-risking your organization from day one. You should have your second line, third line, be there, be ready to take care of the situation. Maybe it is we in the HR term we say dead drop successor. Now, what is the meaning of dead drop successor? Which means that tomorrow it's just not about resigning. It's not about great resignation or retirement. It's about today. Let's say if somebody has to take the responsibility, that person needs to be ready. So it is very, very important for any organization to identify their critical talent very, very early stage, and then just not identify, but develop them for the next line. And you can use them as soon as possible. The second most important thing which I realize that HR is just now not a functional area. You have to be a techno-functional expert. The technology is something which is ingrained in every HR person nowadays. And to create a processes, structure, system, modules in a way which actually provide a proper governance to the entire gamut is very, very important. So I think both areas, one is the talent management and the digitalization or transformation journey, which every company is pursuing nowadays. These two things are very, very important and the focus area, I think, for every company. But that obviously, when you would like to do the digitalization piece or a transformation, you also have to think about the cyber security, because that's the thing nowadays. Because when you are trying to do everything digitalized, it is also very, very important that you think about the security in the first place.
Great, great. So we get to learn this new term, dead drop successor. I think that's quite interesting, and that's something to really, really equip ourselves to get into the next year. I think. Thank you, Nandita. Let's see. I mean, anybody has a question? Hiral, Rupika, thank you for joining. If there's any inputs that you would like to share, within your organizations that have that you feel would be the focus areas. Gopinath, Ravi. Okay. So, what do you think has really share some of your experiences, Nandita and Deepen? So, Nandita, I'll start with you here first. What do you think really worked for you? Made a high impact, post pandemic, and that's something we all can emulate. Where we work at our, workplaces. So there's something that you'd like to share from your experience in the past year.
So I think pandemic has created a shift in every industry. It is taking the industry 4.0 way forward now. I mean, I think many companies, specifically if I'll talk about the manufacturing companies, they have changed the way of their working. Nobody, I think, before pandemic used to feel that 100% of your corporate work can be done virtually. That's the very, very basic thing. Secondly, companies have not realized the importance of the digitalization that much before pandemic. I would say that after pandemic, I think it is it's like a new normal. And not just that, I think companies are investing a lot into the areas where they feel that human intervention is probably not required, that can be doable with the machine learning, AI, robotics, and all those stuff. All these things are coming. So not just coming, I mean, companies are using it, they're investing a lot on it. I think the whole change, I would say the big change which I can see now, it's the movement from the not just the digitalization, but from the it's the movement to a knowledge age, where you are there to do the complex job and to solve the complex job, rather than just doing the the transactional work or a certain identified guideline guided work. That is not the case now. I think that's the big shift.
So what is one thing you would like to, summarize your journey in 2022? What is that one big shift that you think you made in your organization?
So I think the knowledge bank, or the shift about the combination of the data which we were already having, and the people who are already working on certain processes, projects, or departments, we understood that how much it is important for us to consolidate that tacit knowledge somewhere.
Okay.
Because since the people are not going to be every time available physically, and it is also very important for any organization to keep on moving and next line has to be ready, there has to be a great demand of consolidating and creating a knowledge bank.
Knowledge bank.
So it is very difficult to decode the tacit knowledge. It's not very easy, but it's very, very important for every organization to dissect every single small thing and start, interpreting, adding, or combining into some sort of system and processes by which, company can, leverage that particular area.
Great, great. Thank you so much. So I'll now move on to Deepen. So Deepen, as an experienced business partner, what do you feel you think you've brought to the table and which has really altered the way of working?
Yeah, I think two things, and then I kind of echo with Nandita there. A lot has changed due to the pandemic. What used to be earlier not possible at all, or nearly impossible jobs that we used to think that will require a mandatory presence in office has really shifted. The mindset has shifted. Leaders are able to see that. At the same time, because hybrid is here to stay, productivity levels have kind of dropped. Productivity levels have dropped for two reasons. One is because we're all sitting in our homes and we're kind of somewhere, we don't have those cafeteria conversations or water cooler conversations because we don't have that, the belongingness that we had to that team or to that organization. That has lowered a bit. Productivity has lowered a bit. Overall mental wellness has kind of, taken a hit. I think, amongst Industry 4.0 digitalization, what we have done as an organization, and my focus has been to bring in a lot of collaboration among teams. Collaboration is needed mainly because of the fact that, like Nandita said, a lot of tacit knowledge is there. Some information that is spent, only with one person, that needs to be leveraged. So your knowledge management processes have to be really worked on. Performance management processes have to really be worked on. And for all of this, I think you really need to have virtual teams or, a platform where teams can really collaborate. So on a very, very ground level, I personally, as an HR function manager, have worked on, 2-3 areas. Like I said, one is, of course, the knowledge management piece, building our portals building spaces, team management spaces where you can really share knowledge, or, and it's just not just, the knowledge that you have, in terms of the competencies or capacities, but also the working knowledge, right? You're working on a particular problem. What is it that you can really document? So document management processes, I think that is something. The second element is, of course, that we've focused on, really bringing people closer, empowering our first line managers, the immediate supervisors, to be able to understand if somebody really needs help in terms of not just physical or work related aspects, but also in terms of mental wellness. So managers have to mature a bit in terms of their conversations, whether they're in person or virtually. I think that element we have really tried to work on in all of our trainings, in all of our upskilling sessions. The softer aspects is what we are working on. And of course, at an org level, we have focused more on collaboration.
Great. No, I really think, employee wellness is going to be really the key in changing, in increasing the productivity. And yes, cafeteria conversations, I'm sure all of us working from home definitely miss those. And, we really will look forward to those days, when we know we have to go to the office, because that's something of a celebration now. We all look forward to it. Yeah. So I definitely agree with you. Thank you, Deepen, for sharing your thoughts. Now, one thing I would like to ask you, now so employees definitely, they're upskilling, preparing the second line and the third line. How do you think a program like PGDM's HRM, brings in, prepares, or, what would I like to say, how does that help really? And how has been your journey? And then we'll, have the team the guest ask us the questions. Yes. So Nandita, what do you think has been your key takeaways from this program, and how has it, where does it fit in your bigger picture of, how the way you work?
Yeah, sure. I think, Priya, nowadays I feel that learning is just like riding a bicycle. The time you stop it, you don't work upon your body, it will stop. You will not that shaped body which you would like.
Right.
And the same thing is with learning now. If you stop, keep on enhancing your knowledge. I mean, it's just like it's a kind of thing which you keep on doing. It's just not about the PGDM or any
Yes.
specific course, but I would say it is something which is the important thing, because we are in the knowledge age. Let's understand that, you know, our hands has already been replaced by the machines. Our
Right.
mind is also been replaced by the MI, robotics, AI, and all those stuff. The only thing we are left with the heart and the knowledge which we have, and the complex problem which we can only solve
Right.
without the intervention of machines. And we can only do that if we do have that knowledge with us. And there is no way of enhancing your knowledge. It's not about always books. There is a rule which is called 70-20-10 rule. So 70% you get to know when you actually go ahead and on your job, when you do this stuff. So while you doing a job, and when you do certain this kind of courses, it is always upgrade your thinking. That this is one of the model which probably you can use in your organization. Like, I'll give you one example. The very recent model which I've learned about, Owens and Kadakia model from the talent management expert in XLRI, Miss Chami Patel. She's one of our professor.
Mhm.
And actually, I used one of that deck which she has shared with me into my talent management piece. And honestly, it is right now giving me the exact results which I always wanted. So the talent management was already foolproof from last 2011 in GHCL. But with these new models, I'm sorry, someone is speaking. So with this new model or new techniques, I get to know that probably this way, if I'll do it, it will give me more results. So
Right.
one thing is very important, that you have to keep on learning. Secondly, once you go into this courses or the PGDM program which I am doing, I think I've completed my MBA from Symbiosis in 2009. What I've learned that time and what I'm learning now, a lot of things has been changed. Just not about the pandemic. It's about the new era, new generation, new
Mhm.
thought process. The world boundaries are no more there. A lot of new things, which is very, very important for any HR professional to learn. So it is very, very important for any HR professional to keep on upgrading yourself. How would you do that? You have to go to some well-known institute who can give you a right kind of information. Otherwise, there are thousand areas where you'll get the information. You can go and enroll yourself. But here you are actually not just getting the information from the XLRI professor, but you're also get a chance to interact with the international professor, which will give you an information what is happening globally.
Globally.
And that is what you can implement. So that's what I think the most that's what which works out to be for me the most.
Great to hear that, Nandita. Thank you. And then, what do you think really works from a program like this? If you.
Right. So I think I have been an accidental HR, landed into HR by chance, and then after completing my master's in personal management, and it's been a journey of trial and error over the last this is the 16th year running in terms of my experience. I've been there quite a few years. While continuous learning is something that we all do when we are at work, getting into a structured program helps you in two ways. One, it helps you organize the information that you already can access through a lot of information sources. YouTube is forever there. You have the SHRMs of the world, or any expert that you need to kind of just pick up the phone and then kind of just talk, and then somebody can guide you. But placing the structure in place, getting into a formal learning mode, one helps you reduce the time in terms of how you can implement a certain practical way of doing things at work. So for example, one of our performance management classes, when we were learning a few theories, I was really able to apply it back to my workplace because we were incidentally also going through a performance management change cycle. So that is something that I was able to address. The second thing that these kind of programs, especially the one that we are into, right, the PGD HRM program that that is a partnership between XLRI and EDUP. I think what has really helped me is apart from the theory elements that the XLRI faculty brings in, the international exposure that you get when you interact with foreign faculty, a lot of these sessions are practitioner-led sessions. Practitioners like Chris Shankars of the world who have had industry experience for more than 20 years, right? When they come and talk to you, when you spend time with them, let's say 12 hours, 15 hours in a classroom across 4-5 days or whatever is the available schedule, I think it helps you gain a perspective of what really works in India or what really works for a global work.
Right.
So you don't have to really keep on, as in my personal perspective, I really don't have to keep on trying things, falling into an error zone and then keep repeating, right? I mean, trying another iteration. So the cycle time has gone down. The getting it right first time, I think that has really helped for me.
I have a question. May I ask?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Priya. Thanks, Mamta, Deepen. So, a couple of questions I have. This is Gopinath here. So, one is, if, and from a program standpoint, I know this is a program that covers the entire gamut of HR. Let's say if we have, if there are people coming from a one-dimension part of HR. Take, for example, let's say there's a component specialist or there's a person from talent acquisition specialist who spent a long time. How easy or difficult, and we don't have a very clear practical thing, right? How easy or difficult for a person who has worked on one area for a long period of time and because obviously is a specialist is able to adapt to the learnings. I know it's all individual centric, but merely from an understanding and able to contribute. Is that something that you have seen? Is it easy, challenge, or it's going to be challenge? Is number one. Because generally, if you look at HR, within HR, obviously you have a business HR, you have a corporate HR focused on component, and you have a talent acquisition specialist. Now, if you look at the component person or if you look at talent acquisition, these within HR are fairly kind of island kind of types because they're very, very focused, could be one dimension. Now it's not the nature of the role itself, but a business HR person is obviously touches a lot of things, right? So I would like to understand from that particular perspective, how easy or difficult for that if person is coming on one specific area to understand this program. Does this program requires a person should have done bits and pieces in every aspect to make sure that he's able to be successful in this? That's number one. The second question I have is, I know, again, Deepen, you've been Vandita as a HR leader, Deepen, you're an HR leader. How do you balance, again, the practical challenge of how do you balance your study? It's an investment, right? I know we have to, like, this I said, it's a knowledge thing. That's the only place. But again, at some point of time, a lot of loads comes in and somewhere you have to balance it. And that balancing act is always going to be a very tough one. What has been your experience in the last 1 year, given the kind of program expectation and the nicheness of this program itself requires so much of active participation? How are you able to balance it? You can be very practical and you can always say so that at least we can also be very practical and plan for it. Thanks.
Right.
Thank you, Gopinath. Yes, Deepen, please go ahead. Yeah.
So, Gopinath, thanks for asking this. I think the balance part is the one that really is the raw nerve for me, and then I think that is why I was wanting to jump in to answer this, right? But to first address your, the first part of the question, I think it was about whether you need exposure to all gamuts of HR to be able to really benefit from this course. The answer is no, right? Certain elements of HR, or let's say if I have to say certain aspects of HR, you will definitely need a lot of effort. Now, when you say certain aspects, I've never been a comp and ben specialist. So when the comp and ben course came in, I had to put in a lot of pre-work and post-work before, when I say pre-work and post-work, a lot of it was, before the class, there is a lot of prep that one needs to do, go through what material the faculty is giving, try and go through perhaps more books that have been recommended by the faculty, or for that matter, material. That is one element that you have to do. But some of these elements, the faculty knows where you come from or what has been your background. All of, what XLR has done so far is every faculty knows what is the background of the batch and individual background of the batch, right? So the faculty who's coming in knows which industries Nandita has worked in, what kind of functions she has worked in. So some of the faculties have been really able to curate the course at that level for us, where we understand. The second most important learning element for me has been my own batchmates, right? So the cohort that you get into is the cohort that you learn from. Because it's not just learning from the faculty or from the books that you have. Group learning is the element that kind of not just pushes you to learn, but also kind of enhances your learning, because each one of them is coming from a different industry, and every time you interact with someone who has worked in from a different industry or from a different gamut of HR, it exposes, it enhances your experience far more than because it's a practitioner's perspective. So I think that is there. The second part of the question was balancing between, I think learning is an investment. You need to just not invest in, financially, mentally, physically. You need to also make sacrifices. And if you can make this sacrifice for the next 18, 24 months, saying that, hey, I am committed to change my career journey. I am committed to transform myself as a professional. You will be willing to make that sacrifice. What that really means in terms of action is your weekends. For us, our batches are on Friday evenings and Sunday evenings. Friday evening parties are gone. So if you enroll in the course, forget Friday evening parties. Saturday, a lot of time goes in, studying, or for that matter, all of your mall visits. If you have planned with your family, you will have to ask them to take a break, or any movies that you want to go with your friends. Take it for a break. Sundays again have to be, again you have classes in the night. It is taxing, but it is immensely beneficial after you come out of that class at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the night, whenever that class ends. You are asking for more.
Yeah. Thank you, Dipen.
Now, on a lighter note, I think you have Friday, at least Saturday there's a break. What I saw in the letter is actually Saturday and Sunday for us. So we are not even going to have that break. Yeah. That's what I understand.
That is essentially that. I mean, we also debated about having both sorts of things, but either of those cycles have their pros and cons, believe me.
Thanks. Thank you.
All right. I hope that answers your question, Gopinath.
Yes. And I think there were also some chat in the chat window. Also, there were certain questions. If we can address that.
Yes, I will. So, so we have some questions. So I'm going to mix two questions here. So is this program helpful for someone working in a technical or as an operations manager? Or somebody who's making a switch from a non-HR background to an HR background. So is this helpful? And is it a smooth, transition? I wouldn't say it's a smooth transition, but can somebody take that jump?
I'll take this question.
Yeah.
So answer to this question would be that, we have certain people in our batch who are from legal, completely legal. Priya, and then there's one more, Anis also. He's not exactly a non-HR person, but he's a complete legal person who takes care of our IR part. But I think these people are also, because they also would like to pursue their career into human resources. They are looking forward for the same. So that's the reason they are also the part of the same group. They are also learning with us. But since it's the same answer which Dipen also highlighted, that you have to do the sacrifice, you have to do that trade-off. If you really wanted to get to learn something, you really wanted to invest your time in that particular area. Secondly, I think this question is majorly about, that if I'm a technical person, whether it is going to be first of all, you have to make your mind whether you do foresee your career in human resources, you really wanted to get in, you really wanted to make your career, you wanted to be at that place. You have to first make your own mind. Secondly, it is important that you invest your time very religiously in this learning, because the sessions which we are doing, these are not just a kind of a gyan session which the professor is talking and we all are listening. We used to do a lot of team assignment, we used to do a lot of individual assignment, then the final exam is also there, then also the question answer session is also there. So it's a kind of very interactive session in which you are in. So it is very, very important that you focus on those sessions if you really want to pursue this. And in regards to whether you're technical, you're a non-HR person, it doesn't matter if you're really interested to learn.
Okay.
Because
Great.
why I'm saying is that I have almost spent 3 to 4 years in digitalization piece, and I've into the technical line only. I've implemented the HRMS in many companies in terms of the tools and all the things where I was the central coordinator between the information technology department and the human resource department. But it doesn't mean that it is actually it is actually helping me to converting that technical piece or that functional piece into the technical piece. So it is helping me to converge that, if really tomorrow I wanted to create, let's say, an R&R program, there is a policy around it, there is a functional knowledge around it, because I know the technicalities, I know the coding part of it, how the IT used to work upon it. So I can probably interpret those functional knowledge in that manner, which can create the right product. I think techno-functional is the new demand for any HR person. In fact, if you're from the technical side, it is going to be the advantage point for you.
Great. Thank you so much, Nandita. So any more questions, Uma, Suman, Rahul? Do you have...
Hi, this is Saurabh here. Can I ask one
Yes,
question?
please go ahead, Saurabh.
Okay. So my question is that I have about, close to 19 years of experience into human resources in different industries. And at this point in time, I'm playing the role of head of COE HR, the Center of Excellence, right? So I've touched upon a lot of areas like mergers and acquisitions and, compensation, benefits, performance management, HR, business partnering also with the acquired companies that we have acquired for some time once we have acquired them. So of course, I'm from the specialized function, and at this point, when I try to get into the role of, CHRO, the question is being asked, which Gopinath also asked, a similar kind of question, that the kind of, the role which the CHRO entails in even the smaller companies or the startups is that they would want somebody who has done, the role in that kind of, looking after each and every aspect of HR. I personally feel that everything can be learned, because when I entered compensation, benefits and, M&As, I was new to it. But I was able to align and I was able to learn it, and I was able to excel over here and, grow in the ranks. Now, the challenge that I'm facing right now is to get this role, which is the CHRO role, is becoming, not easy for me. I'm able to, crack, few rounds, but final rounds, they are not having that much of trust. The reason is that my specialized experience. So while I'm doing pretty good in my, role in my organization, I'm just wondering whether there is any, placement assistance which is provided by XLRI with some well-known consultants. Of course, we have our jobs. It's not that we would need jobs, but we would need, the next level of the job after completion of this course. So what is the assistance that is being provided by XLRI? Because this has been touted to be one of the best programs, and I've been thinking for a long time that there should be some program like this which promotes people to take up a higher up role into the HR, because in HR in India, or for that matter in MBA, if you look at compared to the Western world, we are a country which prefers people doing their MBA early on and then gather the experience, while the other Western counterparts, they gather the experience and then do the MBA. So now that this course has come, I was just wondering how would XLRI would be able to promote this batch of cohorts to take up larger roles after completion of this course. As I said, we don't need the jobs. We don't need because we already have it. We are already working. So now the next the approach that we should have, or after completion of this courses, we should get the role that we would wish to get. So for that, is there any dedicated team who can actually place us for interviews in those good companies or even the startups? It will be a great assistance from XLRI because of the kind of network they have. So what is the advantage that this program promotes? Will it be having that specific effort that the organization will make, the institute will make?
Yes, so I would like to now invite Vishal to give us a brief about, what are the key highlights of this program. So yes, we do. We assist you with, making sure that you reach the level that you want to reach. But yes, can I request Vishal to just throw some light on the career aspect of the program? Vishal, you're on mute.
Yeah, Priya, I'm so sorry I missed that.
No, so Vishal, we would like you to tell us something about the program. What are the highlights, and what are the kind of services we will be providing to help the participants reach that level which they aspire to?
Yeah, so basically this is first time that we have come up with a blended methodology of learning, wherein the classes are online as well as in person. So of course we do not want the work to get hampered or the work to get affected, and the senior professionals can actually get a chance to learn alongside their ongoing work. So the classes are over the weekends, and we have got 3 in-person immersions, which serves as a huge networking platform. Beside that, there'll be full range of XLRI alumni benefits, which includes the access to the XLRI alumni job portals, all the invites for the various events at the XLRI, including the summer meet, the conferences and the seminars that's going to take place, and the access to the XLRI directory, so that if you get stuck, if you need any assistance in terms of your career, you can actually reach out to those alums of XLRI and get more clarity and an additional assistance in terms of the career related decision making. Beside that, we have got this one-on-one mentoring program in this particular course, which is a kind of a personalized career coach who's going to be mapped with you, a CXO, and that person is going to be helping you with your career related decision making. Yes. So that is one of the the highlights of the course. And beside that, we also have career assistance services, wherein we work on your profile, we work on your professional profile building, your resume sharing, and then placing you for the interviews with the top headhunters and the companies of the work world.
Yes.
So these are some of the features of the program.
Sorry to interrupt, Vishal. Can I?
Yes, please go ahead, Saurabh.
Okay. So my question to Vishal, the moment you answered that there is, is there a cell which actually dedicatedly works to help you connect with the headhunters, because you just named it. So I was just wondering that would there be, these headhunters who would be in touch and, they would assist us because a lot of positions at the top gets filled through the headhunters. If the headhunters, consider your profile and push it to the organizations, there are better chances. So, is there a dedicated cell which will be working for these, pass outs who would be doing this course, and will this be considered at par with the people who have done, 2 years of PGDM program or 1 year of, residential program? Will it be considered at par? Because what we will be positively carrying is almost 2 decades of experience into the HR field in various industries. So if we would be considered at par after completion of this course, in that case it will help us in true sense, and the headhunters will also not remain biased, saying that you have done this online course and you do not have that the full-time course, and that should not, because that kind of a bias is there. Will it be still be there after completion of this course, or will we be fully assisted and will be treated as par, is my question.
Yeah, so absolutely, I hear you out here that the program itself is at par with any post-graduation. So you'll be considered as a post-graduate from XLRI. And that is why all the alumni benefits that we discussed are going to be full range and lifelong. Beside that, when it comes to the placement, of course, we do not have a dedicated cell per se, like the one that we have for the in-campus ones. So the campus placement is not a part of the program. However, we are going to give you additional assistance in terms of career assistance services. So we have tie-ups with the various headhunters of the work world, and yes, we'll be putting you through. We'll be helping you to sit for the interviews, and of course, to get selected is going to be entirely basis your caliber and your potential. So that is what I had to say on that.
That holds good even for the placement cell that you have for the residential programs. That is on the merit of the candidate. But I'm saying that opportunity will be provided or not, because as you said that the campus placements is not part of it. So if it is not part of it, assistance is mostly the lip service which is there. When additional and assistance and all doesn't actually come to the ground when it comes to placing them with headhunters. With other courses, IIMs also run. I have done the senior management program from IIM Calcutta also, and they have not provided any placement assistance. During the course we were told that you will be getting, a lot of people are getting it based on their own abilities. So is this also just based on your own abilities, or there will be some efforts and you will be linked with the headhunters and they will be treating you as par, is my question. Of course, the ability is important. Without ability, nobody can get selected just for based on reference. It is basic ability. But somebody has to be considered in par. Somebody should not get turned down that you have not done the 2 years regular MBA, so you will not even consider for the interview. Or even if we consider for the interview, we'll just keep it as a
got the question, Saurabh. Yeah.
Kind of a environment.
So Saurabh, Mayank would like to talk. Yeah.
So if I may just add it here. So Saurabh, there are 2-3 facts that we need to be mindful of for such a program. First fact is this program is a diploma program approved by AICTE. So it's a flagship program offered by XLRI today. There isn't any program or in parallel to this program in Asia Pac. You talk about IIM, IIT, or anyone else, even ISB for that matter. There is no program that's available right now, which is a diploma program in HR for senior leaders, and especially for people going for CHRO or aspiring for being a CHRO. That's the first fact. And when I say fact, it's not questionable, right? The second fact is that it's for senior leaders. Even the current cohort, we have an average experience of about 16 years sitting in the cohort as we talk, which Nandita and Dipen are part of. When we say that, what we want to do for that cohort is very different sort of than a placement cell for a regular program at the campus. That's for students, right? That's for 0 years into work, right? So it's a placement cell. We don't run a placement cell, but we partner with organizations like Conferry and Russell Reynolds and equivalents to ensure that there is a profile building, there is, executive presence for C-suite. And at the same time, there is a data set that you get access to in their system so that when they get a mandate, you are a preferred candidate for placement. Okay, it's a very different game I'm talking about. So it's not about running a placement cell for you, but it's about giving the opportunity for a profile that is most suited for a senior leader role in a company, right? So there is a little bit of work that the company does, which is leader, in ensuring that you get all the capability required to be ready and fit for a senior role. And when I say senior, I'm talking about CXO or CXO minus 1 or 2. That's a second fact. Yeah. The third fact that we're talking about is access to a community and an ecosystem that gives you enough and more opportunities to showcase the capability you bring to the table so that you get more and more access to available roles across the industry. So for instance, there are people from the current cohort who through the mentoring process have got access to some of the roles, and I don't want to disclose that, but they've got access to some of the roles which are bigger, with better organizations, and they are in conversations for closure. So that's what it does for you, Saurabh. So it's a different program, different configuration, different space we're talking about. It's not a regular placement cell that you are referring to. I hope that answers your question, Saurabh.
Thanks, Mayank. That definitely, affirms.
Yes.
As long as the organization, the institute actually put in efforts for these people, because these people are not, as you said, are not normal students. Basically,
Absolutely,
they have
Saurabh. And we are mindful of that.
More than close to 2 decades of experience.
Yes.
So, and they must be, most of them must be at the number 2 level of in the HR.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right, Saurabh.
Number 2 or 3. So if they would want to, move to the next level, if that, assistance and support and guidance is given, the path becomes, achievable. Is what
correct. So that's the whole idea, Saurabh. That's the configuration about. We are solving for that only.
Mayank, one question.
Thanks.
So
Thanks,
I would
Saurabh.
like to, just do a time check here. So we have already overshot time. So we'll take one last question and then we'll wind up.
Mayank, this is the first of a diploma.
I have. Sorry.
Geeta, I'm coming to you. Gopi, go ahead.
All right.
Mayank, you said it's a, so this is obviously we saw this, it's an AICT diploma course that you've already confirmed.
Yes.
What is from a, whether it's, should be considered as an equivalent to an MBA? Second?
It is.
Second is.
You call up XLRI, they will confirm it to you.
The second one is, does the course allows people to pursue further academia? For example,
yes, you can go for a fellowship program after this.
A fellowship program, and that because obviously the fellowship, whether it will be within XLRI, that will be to be done. Let's say
irrespective, it's AICT. You can go to any university.
That will allow, right?
Absolutely, it's AICT approved. You can go to any university. We'll take a last one with Geeta.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks, Gopi.
Yeah.
Geeta, you had a question.
Good morning, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Well, I just wanted to thank Nandita and of course Dipen for having given their experiential, sharing their experiential learning with us. I liked Nandita's, touch upon the learning agility. But now with the kind of, I think I come under, not the Gen Z or Gen Y, Gen X. So I wanted to speak about my own challenge over here. With this entire course curriculum, would I be able to cope up with the cognitive ability? Of course, I am able to face the behavioral predisposition that would be easily overcome. But with this entire curriculum that you all just shared in a nutshell, I'm talking about my own challenges. Would I be able to overcome, considering that, it will be more of networking, it will be more of the learnings that you bring to the table, considering that I will be in a heterogeneous group, cohort, right? So I'm actually not looking for a career advancement or a better job performance, but my reasons are completely different, where I would like to put on a consultative hat. That's
Geeta,
my
what
priority.
would be your question? Sorry, I'm not getting the question.
So my question is about the cognitive ability.
That's completely in your hands. You'll get access to the ecosystem. The ecosystem gives you best of the best university, best access to the academicians globally available, and CXOs mentoring you, you get networking events. Completely up to you how much you want to soak into it.
So Mayank, if I can add to that
Please,
one.
please, Dipen, go ahead.
Yeah.
So Geeta, I kind of hear you, and then somewhere I kind of resonate. One thing that I felt initially when we started the course was a lot of us, because of our experiences, come with our glasses full when it comes to learning. Now, the moment we start making space for unlearning, or rather try to make the glass half full, I think we start learning. So if you are willing to do that, that entire element that Mayank mentioned in terms of mentoring, in terms of learning from your cohort, in terms of even for that matter, access to the XLRI library, of course, there's a remote library, but there is tremendous amount of resources that are provided either in terms of theory or practical, or in terms of the knowledge that is available within the group. It is just that one has to be open to learning, or rather first unlearning and then learning.
Yeah. So like Chayan from your batch rightly put, learn, unlearn, and relearn.
Yeah, and this cognitive agility which she's talking about, I can also, put my point here. I just told that, I've done my MBA in 2009. Now I'm doing in 2022. I can tell you this very, very honestly that since 2009 and till now in 2022, world has been changed drastically. Just not the world, education system, generation, thought process, knowledge, everything. So what you're going to learn now, I can bet you on that in 2009, and there are so many concepts which is newly evolved now, be it a future of work, be it technical assessments, or the way we wanted to develop people. We are talking about neurodiversity. It is definitely going to enhance your cognitive knowledge. The only thing is you also have to put your time to that extent that whatever reading material, whatever is happening in the class, you also give that 100% time to that. That's the only way. But definitely from year on year, I think the shift is already happening. So you can say that this would definitely increase if you work upon that.
So thank you so much, Nandita and Dipen, for giving us that reassurance. I'll mull over it, and it has been a wonderful sharing from you people. So thank you for your precious time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Guest. Thank you, Nandita. Thank you, Dipen. Yeah, have a nice day.
Hey, thanks, Nandita and Dipen. Thank you so much for joining in. And thanks everyone else.
Thank you, Mayank.
Thanks, everyone. And those questions which could not be answered, we will try and take them personally through the WhatsApp chat.
Yes.
Yeah, do that. All right, take care. Bye-bye. Have a great weekend.
Bye-bye.
You too. Thanks.
You took all the questions which were there on the chat?
Yeah.
Rashmi, we still have participants in the room.
Okay. Any further questions, Rupika, Digant, Jigar, Amit Pandey? Do let us know.
Rajiv?
Yeah.
Can you do the needful, please?
Yeah. Komal, Rupika, Digant, Jigar, thank you for joining. Can I request you to please
Drop off.
Yeah.
No.
Exit कर दिया कर राजू.
Amit Pandey.
दिक्कत नहीं है.
He is like वो guest joining करके दिखा रहा है, but वो आगे नहीं move.
I can't see anyone. I am just seeing ourselves.
He's in the waiting room. I admitted him. पर वो पर वो joining हो रहा है, but बंदा आया नहीं.
कौन अमित?
हाँ.
अच्छा.
I can see him.
He's in the waiting room, Rashmi.
I can't see him.
I can't see.
Now
Yeah.
he's gone. Now he's gone.
Okay.
Haji.
Are Priya, I was on a
Acha.
call on Nolarity. I had a call on Nolarity, and that's when you just took my name. So I had to, cut the call in the middle of it and then join here.
मेरा भी
But good call,
इधर
yeah.
था।
Good session.
Good session. काफी, and 25 people were there. How many people were there? 4-5 तो
Yeah.
हम ही लोग थे, तो 15-16 लोग थे, right?
28 people joined in and then they
Like 30 people were there. I have the names.
coming and going.
30 people were there. I have the names of them. उसमें से 25 लोग were the guest. 24-25 were the guest.
Okay, perfect. ठीक है. So good. So how many do you think? Were there any repeat from the last session as well, Priya?
Yeah, Digant was here. Who was a repeat?
अच्छा नहीं, दिगांत ही होगा. Then I don't.
वो बार-बार क्यों आ रहा है?
Digant, वही है ना, is one of my warm leads who is sitting on the edge to register. Today he has promised to register. Let's see. बाकी लास्ट सेशन से हमें 3-4 रजिस्ट्रेशंस आ गए हैं. शिखा वाधवा जिसने कल रजिस्टर किया है, she was there in the previous session, so she finally registered yesterday.
ठीक है.
So we have.
श्रद्धा ने पैसे दिए क्या?
हाँ जी.
श्रद्धा ने पैसे दिए?
नहीं, अभी तो नहीं आए पैसे.
कल से बात करते हैं.
Chris was saying ना, ये गोपी को बोलो पे करे.
Gopinath had a lot of questions. वो इसीलिए आया था because he wanted to make up his mind to make the enrollment fee payment. तो उसने मुझसे पूछा भी था, can I pay it by Monday? बोला हाँ, you can pay it by Monday.
ठीक है. So good. The session was very, very good as usual. Priya, you're getting better.
I was even more nervous today.
Take all the. Huh?
I was even more nervous today.
So yeah, just before the session, we were having a discussion. I was on the interview thing, coordinating with Chris. So we were just discussing कि I have a bad feeling about the session today.
Why?
पता नहीं. I mean, पता नहीं. But
विशाल
something.
को लग रहा था उतने लोग नहीं आएंगे जितने मतलब.
लास्ट टाइम
तो गए आपके सारे लोग, which is good.
पर आ गए. हाँ.
आप लोगों को, yeah, no, but now the thing is, all these people who have come up, they will have to follow up and sort of get that closure. Last वाले
वो जल्दी कर लो.
6-7 registrations हुए नहीं, 2 ही हुए थे उसमें, 2 या 3 ही हुए.
तीन registrations हुए. If Digant does it, we'll count it for the 8th session then.
So yeah, so.
Hey, why are we recording this? We should stop recording, right?
Stop recording. Yeah.